Okay. Hi, and welcome to Educationally Rewired. My name is Zandra Webb, and I'm one of the co hosts here. And I also have along with me Dr. Deidre Stevens.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
It's so awesome. Like by the time everyone gets the live recording, we've
Right.
made so many mistakes and no one knows about it.
Yes, if they only knew.
If
And
they only knew the
take 20.
pre-conversations we have.
Right. Take 20.
That's real though, because when I did my very first video or infomercial, my camera guy, he was it took me forever to get it right. And I thought I would be able to just come in, say what I need to say, because it was all up here, And by the time I got it right, we were at take, I don't even know. The guy that was helping my camera guy, he was like, take 300. So I was so embarrassed. Okay, so what's in the news today?
All right. So, one thing that I saw that I think is really pertinent from what's going on in the world today with the recessions and all these different things. So, I saw a article that talked about student school meal debt is ballooning due to the end of the universal free school meals during COVID. So, basically, we're running up
Mm,
a whole lot of food bills
mm.
all of a sudden. So, what's that about?
What are you talking about? The end of
So,
the free
yes.
meals?
So a lot of places were doing free meals during COVID because, I mean, think about it. They were having to pass out lunches. People could do drive-bys and get the lunches for the students. So really, they all had
Mhm.
free lunch. So now that we've gone back to okay, regular, they're like, all right, now you got to pay for your lunch again. You're not on free and reduced, and so people took that out of their little budgets. So now they ain't been sending little Johnny and little Susie to school with lunch money. So these debt, and they have to feed the children, whether they give them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or they give them regular lunch, they have to
They
feed
have
them.
to feed them.
So right now, these bills are
So
kind of,
who's
they're
paying the bill?
no one. That's what I said. They have these debt that's there. So I guess the school is kind of absorbing it in a sense because you have to pay these companies. They're contracted out companies, but you still
Yes.
have a tab. It's like you still have a tab, and you know how they
Right.
used to tell us, you can't graduate, but if you're in the second grade, okay, I got
Mhm.
time. so so or they're like, I'll hold your report card. We can't do that anymore. Everything's
But
electronic.
how much is school lunch now?
That's a great question. I mean, it's like $3 and some change. I'm not sure.
It can't be $3. That's like the same as a Happy Meal or something like that. Well, I don't even know if it's a
I
Happy
I
Meal now,
I
but
I think it's somewhere around there. And you know, granted, I get it. In the grand scheme of things, if you don't have it, $3 can be a lot. But especially when you're talking about the course of a week, now you're talking about 20
it's true.
bucks, and then course of a month, it
It's
can
like
be
$80 a month, almost
right,
100 bucks a month for one child, though. For
right.
one child, that's
So
pretty. That's a lot.
right. Let me take this home for you. In Pitt County Schools in Greenville, North Carolina,
Yay!
parents have collectively owed the district $28,000 for school meals this academic school year. According to the local ABC News affiliate, the district enrolls around 23,000 students. So you're almost at $1 a student that is owed. I mean, no,
$28,000,
I'm
they're
sorry,
never
for
getting that
over.
money back. They're
Right. And
never
right. And then there's another one that says the 1300 school Bonneville Joint School District. number 93 in Idaho. This is Idaho. Already has $6,000 in school debt this academic school year. So it's apparently it's a big deal. I mean, we can't pay for lunch anymore. But what I thought was really interesting that I read in there says, however, schools struggle to get eligible families to sign up for free and reduced price school meals, and we know that that's always been a problem. People don't want to sign up for the free and reduced, even though they're eligible, and it's like a shame. But I'm like, you can't tell. All the kids put in their school number, and they keep moving. Only person that knows that money
Can
needs
you
to be
tell though?
the lunch, like not anymore. Back in the day when they used to give the free and reduced people a ticket, it'd be a different color, and so everybody had their ticket. But it's not like that
We
anymore.
never got
Everybody,
tickets. What kind of
what's
school
that?
did you go to?
Oh, I mean, in the great state of Wisconsin, in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we got a ticket. You paid your lunch money to your teacher in the morning. They gave you whatever ticket you were supposed to get. They had the free reduced ticket, free a reduced color ticket, and a regular ticket. So you just hand your ticket. But now you walk up and you punch in your ID number, and either and you don't even give cash if you have cash. You just have money on your account. So nobody knows who's getting free reduced. But I don't think enough parents understand that's what the system looks like. So they're embarrassed. They're like, I don't want to fill out this paperwork and let all these people know that we're living below the poverty line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's benefits to that. Now you can't pay for lunch. Now you run up this bill. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean,
Hold on for a minute. Hold on. B, can you turn the TV off? It's messing up the internet. Love you. He said you don't.
That's deep.
I only have one dot. Okay, I'm up to 2. Okay, we're back in business.
All right.
Okay,
We're back. So as a principal, I remember how we knew the impact of having the free and reduced students to turn in that paperwork, and
Yeah.
how that could really help with accountability, all these different things. And what a fight that was to get people to return that paperwork. So we're going to just run up an unnecessary bill. I mean, I don't know if my pride, I've been the single mom, the mom that's trying to, pay for things. So if you would have told me I was eligible for free and reduced lunch, honey, my papers would have been in immediately. Like, okay, now I don't have to think about that. So
Yeah, I think we were eligible at one point. I'm not sure, but who checks those things anyway? How do I even know?
they know that the PEMS people, your attendance people, they can pull that data if these things are on file. But the way we did it, we just sent it to everybody. We say everybody fill it out.
Yeah,
Maybe you'll get it.
everybody fills it out, but who checks to see if the information is accurate?
No one. Okay.
So everyone could potentially get free. Look at the resource that comes across this this
Right.
platform. Everyone can get
Right.
free or reduced lunch just by
Right.
filling it out. No
I
one
can say it
checks
now.
to
Yeah, I can say
verify.
it now because I'm not in anybody's school district, and nobody's, but yeah, everybody can fill that out. Everybody can have free
Everybody.
and reduced lunch.
So if you're
And
paying for lunch right now, that's shame on you.
right. And your
You could
principal will
just
love you.
lie on the form.
Right. Your principal will love you if you are free and reduced, because that helps with accountability.
And money.
Yes, money for the school. So hey,
Mhm.
fill out those forms. Quit running up these bills. You got your kids. It's like putting your bills in your kid's name. I mean, now you run up this bill for no reason. Now they got bad credit at the
Well,
school.
they're never getting that 28,000. It's going to come from the district. The district is going to pay $28,000 to the vendor.
Right.
Those
And
parents are not going to do that.
right. And then you think about it, if they were covering it during COVID, I mean, another parent is probably thinking like this. Well, they were covering it then, they can cover it now. You know, yeah.
It's it's going to take us a minute to get. I don't want us to go back to where we were, but
No. Not back,
um,
but I do want us better. I mean, uh,
that's another podcast. Not
right,
back,
you're
but
right.
better. Yeah,
Yes. Come on.
yeah.
Come on, topic. Let me write that down.
That's another podcast.
Yes.
So people owe money. That's the news for today. Is that families
Right.
owe the cafeteria some money?
Right. Send your baby with some money to the cafeteria lady or fill out the form. One of the two.
Yeah, fill out the form. No one's gonna check. No one's gonna check.
No one.
All
No
right,
one.
our topic today is
Oh, do I get to say it first this time?
go for it.
The topic for today is it's not the pig's feet, it's the job.
I just want everybody to know that that my co-host comes up with these topics.
I love it.
It's like you actually have a knack for it. So
I mean, it's a thing. I mean,
you
it's
do a good
real.
job with that. So it's not the pig's feet.
It's the job.
It's the job.
I mean, we have for the longest I've been told we get all these warnings from what is it, the FDC, LMNOP, everybody about
Hmm.
our health and the things that we put in our bodies and the food. And so we're like, oh yeah, can't eat this. Every week we can't eat something. So right now we really should be starving. But what
We should be starving.
we should be starving. There's nothing that nothing's off limits at this point. We everything is bad for you. So what we're coming to see, and I know that I got to see firsthand, but it's not the food that's killing me. I think I felt so much better on the pig feet. Not that I eat pig feet. I don't even eat pork. But but the job was killing me. So as an administrator, I was I mean, you think, and I probably borderline stroke several
Mm.
times, and I swear bacon never did that to me. I mean, but the, the
Bacon
job,
never did that to me.
yeah, bacon did not send me there.
Bacon never did that to me.
But the job sent me straight to the ER at nearly stroke level. So
Let's slow down. Let's go back to
yes,
pig's feet.
let
Okay. Let's slow it down for the church.
okay.
So for those of you who may be tuning in that whose culture it doesn't include that dish, right? Pig's feet is a dish, right? That is food, okay? That people eat because it's not just the black community. There are other cultures that eat pig feet as well, right?
Yeah.
Um, and they cook it and they eat it, guys. And I know it sounds disgusting. Now I'm gonna tell. I grew up in the country, and that's pretty much where you're going to find that type of dish in high volume. Okay.
Yes.
In high volume. Okay. Is used to season things and all that kind of stuff. So, all this good Southern food that you're eating may have been seasoned with that, and you don't even know. Okay. Like you have ham hock and you have turkey
Hog maul.
necks, hog malls. Now, hog maul, I draw the line. Okay.
Chitterlings.
Let me tell you, I think I'm too old to eat chitterlings now. Okay. But my family, I mean, we ate chitterlings and I love them. We don't
We don't
call them
call them
chitterlings.
chitterlings. We call
We
them
call them
chitlins.
chitlins. Okay.
Chitlins.
Now, pig's feet. um, You cook it about the same, okay? You season them and you eat them. It's very fatty texture. It's a fatty texture. There's a little meat in there, but not a lot. It's mostly fat, so it tastes really good, okay? My last time eating pig's feet was many, many moons ago, okay? When my mom cooked them, I was probably coming home from college or something. My brothers were there. Um, and I ate that pig and there are hairs on the foot. And one of those hairs got caught right in the back of my throat. And I just was going, like I could not get it out. And it was so disgusting. And my brothers were waiting to see if is this the last time or it, it wasn't about, are you okay? You know, it was about, are you going to eat that?
Right.
So they wanted my big feet.
Right. Are you gonna finish that? So
And that was the last time I ate pig feet for real. Um, that was the last time
it should
that
have
I
been.
ate them. Did you have you ever eaten them?
Yeah, that's a strong no for me. They were the- my father would cook them at times, and I know our brother eats them, and they're even prepared in my home now. I still don't eat them. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean
not
it's
okay.
good, but here's the caveat. The caveat behind all of these amazing things that we eat in the South is it is also a very strong contributor to heart disease. Uh, it doesn't help with diabetes. I'm not sure if it affects, but it doesn't help with blood pressure.
None of these things.
There is no nutrients in a pig, like none.
None.
There's
It's
no nutrients in a pig, and we tear it up. Okay,
right.
they are the nastiest animals
The
ever.
pig, they don't sweat. They were designed to clean the earth. And yet we take so basically you're eating out of a trash truck. Have you described have you su- that you described?
If you scribe, NASA is coming.
You ain't described to us? Hey, you. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? If not, do it right now. I don't see your name. Subscribe now. Educationally Rewired.
So both as an assistant principal and I think it was all the way through. And I think um, I had those health issues because I did not know how to balance the work that's involved in being a good educator. Because if you are worth your salt, you are putting that time in. I'm sorry. There's no way around putting that time in order to get things done. And then we brag about it. I was there early and I stayed late. I was the first one in the school building. I was the last one out of the school
Yes.
building. Like I had police officer friends that would drive around my school just to make sure I was okay. That's how late at night. I have walked out of school probably like anywhere from 10:30 to 11:30 at night. I'm walking out of the school to go home, rest, get my clothes on, and come back. Now, I don't know if education practitioners do that now, but I just had a strong work ethic and a strong passion for what I was doing. And I didn't really think about uh, how I did not think about the wear and tear on my body, right? And so what I came to realize was you don't have to think about the wear and tear on your body. Your body will respond for you.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot about how stress impacts the body. And I get concerned because I'm seeing my colleagues work hard in these buildings, and they probably don't feel the stress, and they're just going, they're champions for what they're doing. But
Right.
I know, I don't say anything, but I know the wear and tear on the body. And now we have more information about the mind, so the wear and tear mentally, the wear and tear physically.
Yes.
um you don't even have, I mean, you do have time for spiritual stuff, but I mean, even the wear and tear on that type of life is just not a, it's not ideal for anyone.
Right. I can totally agree with that. I mean, you could not have told me that I was stressing out to the level that I was.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, we love what we do as a whole. We're educators because we want to be educators. Definitely not because we're here clocking these big dollars and getting rich. So we're here because this is what we love to do. So we go to whatever extent we need to make sure that we do a good job.
Yeah.
And as we've, talked about probably before on other episodes, even as a woman in education, you know, you have to put in that extra work to make sure that you are at least get the value that you should be getting for the work that you do. So, we take things on personally, we take things on emotionally, mentally, you know, we don't put it down. So we are there extra hours. We are still thinking about it when we get home. When we get home, we're trying to have the semblance of a normal life, but we're thinking, our phone is constantly ringing and you can't not respond to it. So you're responding to things because if you let all this pile up to the next day, now this is going to be like a domino effect and it's just going to keep snowballing, snowballing, snowballing. So you're like, well, I know it's midnight, but let me go ahead and respond to these emails because I'm going to have a whole new set in the morning. So we don't even realize the impact, and like Deidre said, it's even when we don't recognize, our body is like, okay, she don't want to pay attention. I got it. Let me just go ahead and pop her right over the head, knock her down something so she understands that this is not a game. You have to eat. You have to take a break. You have to stop and pause. I just didn't get how bad it was until I was at the door of the ER.
Yeah.
So
And you have
I
to eat right. You have to eat, and you have to eat right, right? One of the things that my doctor shared with me, the last episode I had, um was he gave me a choice. He said, either you're going to have to find somewhere else to work, right?
Mhm.
Do something else, or you're going to have to change the way you eat for the job that you're doing, and your habits, right? Now I chose both. Actually, I chose to change my environment, and I chose to start trying to eat better, um, and do a little more than I had been doing. And honestly, I admire educators who are still able to get into the gym, because I mean, the amount of time that we spent in those buildings in high need schools, right, is unbelievable. People wouldn't believe. And I think it's the pressure, maybe the pressure of, you have to do a good job. At first, it was the
Yeah.
pressure of, I think a lot of it was me, putting pressure on myself. I have to do a good job because I have to do a good job. I'm not going to let anyone down. I'm not going to, I'm a, I don't know if I'm a competitive person per se, but I
Right.
just like for, I'm a stickler about my job, like the work that I do, right? It
Right.
has to be a certain, it has to be nice, pristine, it has to be, so I'm
Right.
always putting that little extra touch on it, making it work, going outside of what I've been asked to do in order to get it done, to make it look amazing, And
Right.
then I think it transitioned from the pressure I had on myself to incorporating the pressure from accountability. Always listen, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel. You need to subscribe because the rants and all those things that we do that is never on the show that we show you, all of that is on our YouTube channel. And we have lots of clips and stuff that probably would keep you entertained throughout the day. I know how it is to have so many things that happen throughout the day. And sometimes you just need a pick me up, honey. You just
Yeah,
need something to make you laugh. And that's what we do.
we're
Okay.
here.
Or maybe you need an opener for your faculty meeting. Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
us. To show them what to say or what not to say. So now you have accountability that we all have to respond to and answer for. So I'm constantly thinking about the numbers. I'm constantly thinking about intervention plans or how like long-term, short-term plans. What does it look
Right.
like? Building wise, what does it look like? Where do I need to incorporate community partners going to this meeting, that meeting? Teachers have funerals, you're going there. You're going to the football games, the basketball games, the cheer competitions to the I mean
Choir, theater, orchestra,
it was comprehensive, you know.
right?
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work. And honestly, I don't know if you're going to do a good job. I really don't know how you would do it without doing all of that. Because every action was intentional and had its purpose. I
Right.
had to go to the extracurricular activities because I had to build a culture for or be a part of the building of a culture for our campus where the children knew and the parents knew that we were involved in more than just their academics. Like we cared about the things that they cared about.
Right.
You had to have parent meetings, and I had to break them down into smaller meetings, which means more parent meetings. I had to
Right.
do that because I had to create a culture for parents where they felt comfortable enough to talk to us and to participate, right? To see that we were in their school and we were making changes. I needed their cooperation. I had to work with athletics, right?
Right.
For one assignment, I had to do that because we were changing the academic culture and they held like a large majority of our students in their hands every day. So yeah, I had to partner. So I have to be to those games. I had to make sure the coaches knew that I cared, not just the kids, the coaches. I had to
Right.
make sure my teachers and my students knew that we cared about more than
Right.
just the academics. I don't see any other way that it could have been done. And for me, because of my work ethic, to leave it undone.
Ooh, you can't. And I will tell you that those things are critical because you do have to have your hands in all of those things to be a successful instructional leader. You have to have your hands in all of those different things. So it's important that you do give those the time and space for those things. Finding that balance, especially when when you get the job, you're in there and you're boom. It's like your superiors are expecting you to make changes and to make positive change immediately. So you don't stop and say, okay, how can I do this in a healthy way for me and the school? You don't. You just roll up your sleeves and get to work. Um, so I would say that, because especially when I started my principalship, it was in the middle of a school year. So
Hmm.
there was no, okay, let me take my time and learn this over the summer or get some things under my belt. No, it was boom, make change now. So I think now what I know as I train and develop leaders, I would definitely approach it differently. And I do teach a lot about um, getting their time back, and making sure that they know how to balance those things. But just going into the job, I don't think that that's the norm. You don't know. Um, I didn't eat half the time. I should say in the beginning. as I got further and further along, I took some time to eat. Whether it was 15 minutes that I just took a time out, I would do that. But going in the beginning, I didn't, because I just had to figure some things out. But it was important, like you said, to eat the right things,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
eating was sometimes going to your snack closet. Because I mean, if you really got a high need school, you got a snack closet, because you got
You
to,
have a snack closet because
right.
you need information.
We got bribes, we got all kind of stuff, whatever we need that for. So some days it was just quicker just to go to the snack closet, or like I probably ran up. I probably own share in DoorDash, because
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I don't have time to go get something. I don't really have time to tell somebody what I need to send it for them, so I could do same order as last time. Poop, get it sent, and it's on its way. You know, so I ate a lot of Chipotle, and I ate a lot of those things, and that I could get easy and quick. That was not helping my situation.
Right.
On top of the stress of doing well. And along with, if you think about now how many administrators are dealing with shortages in staff. So they're having to do some things that are outside of the typical scope of work
Yeah.
of an administrator.
Absolutely.
So that was something I dealt with my last year as a principal, down in all my core areas and tested areas. So it wasn't an option. We had to figure out how to get these students taught regardless, because I knew accountability was counting on me to hold up 3/5 of the score.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot that I didn't realize was just in every direction physically, because I'm running around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not nourishing my body. Emotionally, there were things that happened anyways. I mean, I had a student suicide. I had teachers dealing with things, and then my own life. So, at the time, single mom. So I had that to deal with as well. So I'm making sure that my son is getting back and forth, and then you just think about all of the mentally. I mean, you're thinking. It was a lot, and I am grateful to my secretary at the time. Shout out to Latanya, um, because she saw me probably that I couldn't see, about to hit the floor one day, and she just, after asking me several times, do I need to get out of there? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Don't even realize that my spacing out. Next thing I know, she was pulled up to the curb with her car and was like, "This way, come with me," And she was taking me to the ER. And thankfully, because by the time I got to the door, there was nothing left in me, and it was wheelchair time. Honestly, there are people before me that did not grow up in that era of technology. But it is 2022. And as sure as they learn how to use that cell phone, they can learn how to do the different things and applications that are going to be beneficial for students. You can, Grandma. You can too learn how to do it.
You can, Grandma.
Yes, somebody's Amy.
Why can't it be Grandpa? Why is your bias coming out? Why?
Because it be them honorary grandmothers. Let's be real. Papa usually,
Grandma.
Papa usually will just be quiet and take it. And maybe it had gotten that bad. I had the shakes. And didn't realize it.
Girl, I was walking the hall like this. This is the correct way to hold this bottle up. I felt like I was walking like this. Yeah. Like a vampire. Yeah. Really.
That's exactly how I felt. I was just weak. I ended up being out of work 2.5 weeks following that, thinking, and had she said nothing, I'm fine. I would have just kept on, and who knows, had I had a heart attack or a stroke right there,
and that would have been terrible.
Yeah, and I'm the one who has had the most even blood pressure ever, because they're like, Web ain't stressing. Web ain't never. It used to be the joke. Even when a parent would come get me riled up, they'd be like, take her blood pressure. And it would just be normal. They were like, dude, that did not get you off your. like, no,
Yeah,
that's
no.
just part of the job. You can't shock me with that kind of stuff. So when it got that bad,
Mhm.
then it was bad because those things just didn't bother me typically.
But I bet you it was.
Maybe it was, yeah,
Yeah,
slowly.
because honestly, like we start with our admin story when we talk about, our malfunctions in our body at the time. But I'm willing to bet you that it started when we were teachers, not not even then.
Right,
It started when we were teachers, when we
right,
were, you had to grade all those papers, you had to go to all these meetings. Well, if you study your lesson,
right,
studying and practicing your lesson, trying to make sure, it started then. And so I think that, you and I've had most of my, now I'll say this, most of my supervisors, though, were very loving and caring and
mhm,
cared about me. And I
right,
think if I had changed my schedule, for me and done those things early on, I don't think it would have been a problem.
right,
I think that I've only had one group of supervisors that really didn't care about my well being, and our interaction together quickly, it was quickly dissolved, because I learned by then that when you are working for a school, this is a business transaction that has to work both ways. Okay.
yes,
Has to work both ways. I learned that by then. But early on, that's not something that I even thought about, because
right,
it's like you're brainwashed. You go to
right,
school, you get a job, you go to this job for like 40 years, and then you retire, unless they raise it to 50 years, and then you retire, and then they pay you for the remaining years of your life. The math doesn't add up. Okay, in case you're
no,
listening, the math doesn't add up, and education is
doesn't.
going to have to do better, because people are waking up and understanding, whoa, this math doesn't add up. But when you're working for a school, it is a business transaction, and it needs to work for both sides.
I
So
agree.
yes, I'm going to give you my time, I'm going to give you my talent, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure you are successful. But if at any time I feel like you're not doing the same, then, you know by the time I had met these supervisors, I understood, if it doesn't work both ways, then
Right,
I have I have gifts and talents, like,
right,
and I bring value, is what I'm saying, right? I
right.
bring value, and I knew I brought value. And if, that's something that you don't appreciate, or that you don't care about, then I need to find another spot that will appreciate the value that I bring. And it doesn't mean that either party is a bad person or none of that. It just
Mhm.
means that there's no value here. We don't value each other. So I need to find the place that values what I bring to the table. And I think as young practitioners, I think maybe they haven't even discovered what value they bring. But I'm gonna tell you, your whole body is value right now.
Yes, yes. You
Your
brought up
whole
a good
body is
point.
value right now.
You brought up a great point when you said this probably started way back in teaching,
Hmm.
and we
I'm
become
sure it
accustomed.
did.
Yeah, we become accustomed to certain levels of stress. Not that it was any better on our body, but we became accustomed to it. It made me think about when my father was ill, and the first time he went in and had surgery, he didn't realize the pain, the ongoing pain that he had become accustomed to every day.
Yeah.
So when he had the surgery, and he was like, I feel better than I've ever felt before. And they were like, you got so used to the pain that you didn't realize that you were in pain and every day. And he was like, God, I guess that did hurt. I just didn't think about it. I've gotten used to taking it. And we get used to accepting the stressors, that we have that we don't do anything about it because we're like, well, this is what I have to do. Um, so I do think that that played a role, that why my blood pressure probably didn't look like anything, because I become used to the stresses of being an educator. So it was just like, man, I'm not shaken by these kids. I'm not shaken by these parents. I'm not shaken by this stuff. But my heart was telling me you are, because I did have a level of compassion, because I went home and I talked about it. Even though I wasn't stressing about it, I went home and talked about it. Man, you're not gonna believe the parent that walked in my office with that bonnet and them crusty feet.
Yes.
And, I
Yeah.
talked about it. And then you didn't, or I went home, I'm like, man, this kid is really struggling at home. And,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think about what I can do for this kid, to make things, level the playing field for them. You're thinking about it. You may not have
It's
gotten all,
emotional.
what's that?
It's emotional.
Yeah, it is. You may not have gotten
It's
all
emotionally
twisted.
draining.
Yeah, I didn't get twisted at the job, but I'm still thinking. My brain is still. What would run me hot is your child walk in there with fresh Jordans, fresh haircut, fresh weave and lashes down, and her acrylics done, and you tell me you don't have $5 I have a problem with that.
Red bottom shoes, ladies and gentlemen. True story. Let me tell them my true
Yes.
story. My field trip, I was an administrator in a neighboring district. I'm not going to say who, okay? But I was an administrator and I had a teacher come to me and say that a parent was telling her, we had 6 weeks to the field trip. The field trip cost $3, and the parent was saying that they couldn't afford it. I said, that is a straight up lie.
There
There
was
was no
no
break.
stop.
And then you had to get up early in the morning and go. And see, I didn't have children and I didn't have those things. So imagine that, like, there
Yeah,
was no off. There was no off.
yeah,
So
there was
it's not the
really
pig
no.
feet, guys. It's not just
It's
that. It's,
not
you need to make an adjustment to your job. And I'm telling you, I didn't, for a long time, I didn't want to make that adjustment because I didn't want to let anybody down. I did
right.
not want anybody to feel like I was, cut short. There was a time when I cut back to 100% because I gave 130. I
Right.
gave 200%. I cut back to 100%. And people were asking me, what's wrong? Why are you not doing, things like that. It's people become accustomed to you work
Right.
giving 1,000%, and
Right.
and I you don't even need 100. I can't even. I, you know,
Yeah. It
it's
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 it
too
happens
much.
fast. And you brought up another good point. If it doesn't fit, you should quit. I mean, if when something is no longer serving you,
Yeah.
and that is in a full capacity, because you can't just say, well, I'm getting the satisfaction out of my job because I'm making results, but if something truly serves you, it serves all of you,
Yeah,
mentally,
that's true.
emotionally, physically, all of that, intellectually. And it's no longer serving you when you right now are trying to determine how many extra hours or what you can do to pay that hospital bill you just acquired, because that's not going to be under workers comp. You didn't fall. You would have been better off falling down on the job
Mhm.
than allowing the job to take you
Mhm.
down. It's really, there's nothing that is going to take the place of you having to deal with the insurance, because I mean, let's be real, school insurance is not great. So you're going you're going to have a nice lengthy hospital stay. You're going to have prescription bills. I mean, if I go back, and because I don't mind being transparent, the anti-anxiety depression pills,
Mhm.
the pills for the hearts, and the studies that I had to get done, because they're like, okay, clearly something wrong with her heart. So now I'm going to specialists. And that's an extra copay. So I'm going to,
It's an extra copay.
right. It ain't the regular copay to whatever it is, 30. The specialist wants 75 to $100. So now I'm paying that. You know, and I'm having to be off work. I'm not being able to tend to things.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't worth the hospital bill for all the scans that I had to have done, because now they want a CT, a MRI, LMNOP,
So
QRS.
you were off work anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
And then,
could have taken off just to chill out.
right. Exactly. If I
Either
would,
way this goes, you're going to take off.
yes, if I gotta take a day here or a day there, it's so much better than me having to, when I had to be off 2.5 weeks and hope that my school was still running, because now I'm still stressing because I don't know that everything is running the way that I didn't prepare. Like, I didn't have sub notes left on my desk,
Yeah. Yeah.
on what to do. So, I mean, take a day, take your day, and
Take
if
a
it does,
day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Listen, if you haven't signed up for our YouTube channel, you need to go to Educationally Rewired on YouTube and subscribe. Okay? Click Educationally Rewired, subscribe. Okay? If you have not done so already, tune in next week because we're going to be talking about who you talking to, meaning sometimes as education professionals, we get a little ratchet in the workplace when we're talking to each other. So tune in next week and engage in our conversation. We want to know what you have to say. All right. See you next week. Bye.